mystery of the Tunguska Event. Early in the morning on Tuesday 30th of June 1908, there was a massive explosion in the area of Podkamennaya, Tunguska, an unprecedented event uncomparable to anything in our modern history. The closest seismograph installed in Irkutsk, 600 miles from the epicenter, recorded strong vibrations lasting more than 60 minutes. The sound wave caused by the event encircled the planet multiple times. More than 800 kilometers away in the city of Kansk, the noise was so loud that the train engineer stopped his train, thinking that one of the freight cars had exploded, and about 800 square miles of forests were flattened by the shockwave. However, any remnants of the object which caused this event are yet to be found. According to the widely accepted theory, the Tunguska event was caused by an asteroid airburst on a grandiose scale, which produced more than 30 megatons of energy. Let's explore some of the other theories. Number 4. A cometary airburst. Mathematical models indicate that the Tunguska event was actually caused by an explosion of a small comet, the Moscow University professor Samuel Grigoryan claimed in the year 1976. The core of the comet is composed of frozen gases, ice, and cosmic dust. During its passage through the atmosphere, it will be rapidly heated, causing immediate evaporation and explosion. Released energy would correspond to the estimated 14 megatons. Although this theory, first suggested by 1930 by British meteorologist Francis Whipple, explains the strange luminous phenomena observed by the eyewitnesses of the Tunguska event, majority of scientists consider it being very improbable. They often point out that a fragile cometary body ought to have already disintegrated in the uppermost layer of the atmosphere, with the object that caused the event apparently remained intact until it reached the lower atmospheric layers. Number 3. Collision with a miniature black hole or piece of antimatter. According to the so many cult experts, the Tunguska explosion was supposedly caused by an annihilation, physical process that occurs when a subatomic particle collides with its respective antiparticle of the opposite charge, producing immense amounts of energy. According to this theory, first suggested in the year 1941 by Lincoln LaPaz, the Tunguska event was likely caused by the annihilation of a chunk of antimatter colliding with Earth. Although the antimatter theory explains the observed luminous phenomena and why no remnants of asteroid or comet were found in the area, existence of such large antimatter chunks is often being theoretically impossible. In addition, annihilation of the alleged chunk of antimatter would probably happen in the uppermost atmospheric layers. Another speculative hypothesis suggests that in the 1908 Siberian explosion was caused by a small black hole passing through Earth. This hypothesis was first formulated in the year 1973 by American scientists Arbel A. Jackson and Michael P. Ryan. However, as there was no exit event or a second explosion occurring as the black hole shot out in the North Atlantic, this hypothesis is considered wrong by a majority of modern scientists. Other evidence, as dust trails and high nickel concentrations around the impact area, also dismiss this hypothesis. Number 2. The intervention of Agda, god of thunder. Akulina, an Evenki woman who was closer than 20 miles to the epicenter at the time of the explosion, later reported the event to the scientists. A mighty wind flattened our tent while we had been sleeping. A brilliant outburst of light blinded us. The wind was breaking trees like they were sticks. As a rising whirlwind lifted us off the ground, I lost consciousness. After she woke up, she remembers seeing her husband Ivan being lifted by a blast and slammed into one of the remaining upright trees, 130 feet from the remnants of the camp they had slept in. He died few hours later from fractures, shock, and blood loss. Our reindeers also vanished, and we haven't found them since, Akulina also reported. If we believe the shamans of the Evenki tribe who lived in the area for thousands of years, the Tunguska event was caused by Agda, the god of thunder himself. Number 1. UFO Explosion. In the year 1956, Russian sci-fi writer Alexander Kazantsev published his short novel titled The Explosion, with his own explanation about the true cause of the explosion. According to his version of the story, The Tunguska event was caused by the massive nuclear explosion of an extraterrestrial spaceship. In the year 1945, 11 years before the published famous story, Kazantsev visited the ruins of the Hiroshima, city devastated by a nuclear explosion. Near the explosion's epicenter, he noticed still standing trees with their leaves and branches ripped off by the sheer force of pressure wave. 6 years later, during his visit to Tunguska, he noticed similar patterns, no crater and standing trees without any branches or leaves. Because of that, he quickly comes to the conclusion the 1908 event had to be caused by a massive explosion, probably of nuclear origin. Another thing supporting the nuclear explosion theory are the burn marks on all trees around the epicenter. Forest fire caused by meteor explosion will burn the trees all around. However, marks only on one side indicate concentrated short-term radiation hit as during a nuclear explosion. This hypothesis was further expanded by Valery Uvarov, director of the International UFO Network himself, quoting his works. In northwestern Yakutia and Siberia, in the basin of the upper Vilai River, there is a hard-to-reach area bearing the marks of a tremendous cataclysm that took place 800 years ago. Distributed across this area are mysterious metal objects located deep underground in the permafrost. The last time that this installation shot down a meteor was on 24-25 September of last year.